And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Wednesday, January 17th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody. Yes, we're here. And boy, is the cold weather here with us. MJ has been saying 6 below, I believe, a -6, a -6, however you want to say it. I think my car thermometer said 5 below this morning. I will have to say that everything was smooth and made it here okay, but the roads are slick, and of course it all froze over. What might have melted a little, no doubt, and the sun came out yesterday, melted a little bit, and it froze over last night. The roads are slick. If you don't have to travel, you probably shouldn't, at least not until maybe later in the day. I think it's going to warm up, and it might even get above freezing today. Let's hope it does. Well, we're on the air right now for Cedar Stone Bank, as we are each Wednesday at this time. Cedar Stone Bank of Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. That's been their slogan, I think, from day one. And they have tried to make banking simple, but to offer everything that you would expect a full-service bank to have. Bob McDonald usually calls in if he's not going to be here in person, and he either designated somebody else today who, there's the phone right now. His watch is probably slowed down a little bit. He's probably, no, false alarm. Well, anyway, we love Cedar Stone Bank. We love to talk about they really serve three different communities and three different communities. Lebanon and Mount Juliet and Donaldson are all have their certain characteristics, certain market, and Cedar Stone's right there in the midst of all of it. Bob has been president and chief executive officer from the beginning, and they're soon going to be celebrating I don't forget how many years it is, but they've been around for a long time and been right here at this spot on Wednesday, almost from the beginning, so we certainly appreciate that. I know that with inclement weather, banking has been limited, and some may have not even been able to open the last couple of days. Of course, yesterday, Monday was a holiday. But anyway, as we talk about simple banking and simply better and Cedar Stone Bank, it is one, at least when what I'm reading was written, one of 16 banks in Wilson County, but one of only 4 banks that were chartered locally. So that's something to consider. Cedar Stone Bank is the second oldest community bank in the county. And again, their motto, simple banking, simply better, is true. They make banking easy. Cedar Stone Bank delivers personal service and 21st century technology. We talk about that quite a bit. And if you are looking for a great community bank, then you need to get to know Cedar Stone Bank. The thing that they really take pride in is the Simply Better free checking account, and something that we really love to talk about because it's free in every sense of the word. There's no service charge. There's no minimum balance. You get free checks. There's no ATM fees, free online banking with bill pay, and maybe something that makes it different from most free banking accounts is the fact that if you use a foreign you use your debit card at another place, and there's a charge for it. They reimburse you for that charge, so you can bank free anywhere in the world, and that's something else that Bob is very proud of. So if you want not only a free checking account, but one that offers all the other perks that we've talked about, then consider Cedar Stone Bank. Whether you're in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, or Donaldson, they'd love to have you as a customer. Cedar Stone Bank, simple banking, simply better. Well, right now we are about 8.5 minutes after the hour, so let's go to the phone. And who's on the phone this morning?
Good morning, Coleman. This is Mark Hinesley.
Mark Hinesley. Well, I thought it would be you because I knew you were going to be calling in this morning. We had a little email consultation, as we might call it, yesterday, And you're down in the far reaches of Mount Juliet, and it just makes sense that you called in this morning and talk about the Mount Juliet Chamber instead of chancing it out here on the icy roads. What a good morning to you.
Good morning. Boy, it's all about the weather this week, isn't it?
Oh, isn't it? I'm hoping we're going to get a little break today and tomorrow, warm up. If it'll get above freezing, that would be nice.
I was pleasantly surprised. I hate to use the word melting because I don't know if it ever got above 12, but there was a big difference in the main streets, main roads, from 8:30 or 9 o'clock until probably about 4 yesterday afternoon. There was a substantial improvement. So I'm glad the sun's already out and shining. It would have been dark out when I left this morning, so thanks for letting me call in. I also want to say thanks to my staff. They were up and at it yesterday morning, working remotely. Our board's been very responsive. This throws a curve in a lot of things. We actually had our monthly luncheon scheduled for today. Bob usually mentions that. Mm-hmm. We were going to have our oath of office for our new board members, our board coming in, and we had nearly 100 people signed up for that. It was going to be a good crowd, and as the weather progressed, we needed to make the decision, so got with the venue and everybody and able to push it back 1 week. So the luncheon will be next Wednesday. That's always something we talk about. But, as I was getting ready this morning, I thought about it a few times. I'm sure others have too. But you go over and turn the switch on and the lights come on and you hear the thermostat, the heater's running, the water, the lights come on. I don't know that I think sometimes we may take our utility companies and service providers for granted, but boy, Chris Jones, Dale Merritt, you had Chris out. Oh, it's been a couple of months ago, I guess. He was on your show, Coleman, and
yeah,
he was talking about the lessons learned in December of 22, I guess, and they, I believe this morning might be when they expect to hit peak demand. So I know that they worked hard to make sure that we would all have electricity, and thank them. And at least down here, we got Freddie Weston and lots of my friends that work at West Wilson Utility District. No interruption in the water, and I'm out in the county, so the folks at Advanced Propane take good care of me, and most of Mount Juliet is Piedmont Gas, and might not seem like it, but boy, I think those things are very, very important, and I'm sure the folks in Lebanon and Watertown and all over are grateful for our utility providers.
Well, no doubt, but isn't it like so many things, that old saying about you don't miss your water till your well runs dry? Don't we take so many of our blessings for granted? We don't even realize how blessed we are so much of the time until if your house gets cold, like you were saying, or your car won't start, or whatever. We have so many things that run well most of the time, and a lot to be thankful for sure.
Well, I can tell you, out here I had 0 interruptions on anything, and I think that's a testament to the leadership and those people. I saw those. I'm sure they were out there fixing broken water lines and down power lines or whatever. But and our utility, our public works, and Mount Juliet, Lebanon, Watertown, getting out ahead of the game and putting the brine down. I know that made a difference. We got police and fire, medical personnel that are out there while we're sitting with our feet up on the fireplace. They're out there, and a close friend of mine, his daughter was sledding. I guess it was yesterday, maybe, and had a pretty serious accident. We took good care of her, got her over to Vanderbilt, and badly broken femur in that little girl's leg. You think, well, I'm glad when they're out there no matter what the weather is. Some of them may be listening, but I certainly want to make sure we thank everybody. And it's probably time for a break or so, isn't it? Not yet.
We could go a minute early to the break here. We let MJ put her headphones on, and we'll tell you that you're listening to Mark Hinesley from the Mount Juliet Chamber on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford. Get a battery installed on most vehicles. $149.95. Bates Ford, 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Trying to wrap up this wreck that happened earlier. Here was two separate wrecks on 40 westbound and OHB over in the Hermitage area. It's starting to get busy through there. Now you got all that traffic flow coming in from Wilson County, arriving there in that area of Hermitage on 40 going westbound. It's starting to load up again on 24 westbound as you head up through the Hickory Hollow area coming in right now from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. We're still dealing with some very dangerous driving conditions all over Middle Tennessee this morning. Please slow it down. Hey, Prince's Hot Chicken is hiring at all 4 locations. Order online today at princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Are you facing a challenging time that you need help navigating? Well, look no further than your local law firm of Kane & Crowell. At the offices of Kane & Crowell, our team of experienced attorneys is here to guide you through every step of the process. With a proven track record of success and a commitment to our clients and our community, look no further than the team at Kane & Crowell to fight for your rights and provide representation you deserve. 615-784-4800.
1.5 seconds left, no timeouts. Here's your season. Negron gives it to Bird. Bird for the win! It's gone! He did it!
College Hoops is back, and so is Cumberland University on the radio. Join me, John Boyce, in the booth for every Mid-South Conference game this regular and postseason for both men's and women's Phoenix basketball. Conference games are every Thursday starting at 5:30 and every Saturday starting at 1 o'clock. Phoenix basketball is right here on 98.9. Cumberland's a winner.
And again, good morning. Welcome to our program. And we certainly welcome Mark Hinckley, who's the director. He is the Chief Encouragement Officer, we say, CEO of the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce. And he's on the phone with us this morning. We feature Mark once a month here on Coleman and Company. Look forward to having you because between you and the people with the city who we have on a couple of times a month, we do find out a lot about what's going on in West Wilson County. And we're all one county, hopefully one big happy family most of the time. And we Mark, we do appreciate you.
Well, the last time I knew or heard, doesn't really matter in Wilson County where you collect the sales tax dollars. We all benefit equally. So it's kind of what motivates us and gets us up hustling every single day. So I guess I hadn't talked to you, been over there since the Christmas holiday season, and kind of wrapped up 2023. It was unusual the way the holidays fell. We got a lot of out-of-office replies those 4 days between Christmas and New Year this year, but finished strong last year. The city had we got 10 new business licenses in December, and that brought our 2023 total to 205. We had 195 going into December and finished with 205. And when the sales tax figures come in, I'm sure Tammy over at the JECDB will be sending those out today or tomorrow. One notable thing that might impact December when we get those reports next month would be the opening of BJ's. That's a large sales tax collector, and that'll be good for Mount Juliet and all of Wilson County. But I think we've had at least 1 or 2 planning commission meetings since I was there last, and the planning commission was supposed to meet tomorrow night, but I know the chairman called me, and that's already been going to be rescheduled. Actually, I don't think it's going to be rescheduled. I think they're just going to push everything back to the next one. Those usually see out-of-town consultants and attorneys and representatives showing up, and with travel and city halls being on a limited schedule, there will be no planning commission meeting tomorrow night. But the Board of Commissioners have recently approved several restaurants, a big project out at Golden Bear and I-40, I think Golden Bear Gateway maybe, several restaurants, a bowling alley, similar to the one in Hendersonville, and a number of residential and mixed-use projects. And every once in a while they they do something a little unusual, but this particular PUD was approved out there at Golden Bear. And sometimes you see things on there that it could be like that. It might not be changes, but if the plan were to change and they decided not to build a bowling alley, they have to come back and get the plans reapproved. And I think that's a commitment that the city really wants entertainment venue like that, as well as to the developer. And I know they've already kind of got one in mind. So that's I think that's good. You know, we hit this year running. We started planning late last year, and we're going full speed with our annual celebration. That's always a big time. It's not a catered meal. It's more of just a giant party to celebrate everything that good that happened in 2023 and get 2024 off to a good start. That's going to be on February the 9th out at the Hilton Garden Inn, the same place it's been the last couple of years. And at our luncheon today, we would have sworn in our board of directors, and about that opportunity, I want to make sure I welcome Taylor Grills. He owns Tennessee Title Services, and Courtney Wheeler. She's with Cumberland University. I think she's been on your show before. Those two will both be starting a 3-year term serving on the board of directors. Luke Winchester and CJ Hudson Peeler, they will be rolling off, and I want to thank them for 6 years of service on the board. Tracy Pope, I think she's out there every Tuesday, from best I can tell, on the Coleman show. She's done a remarkable job as our board chair in 2023, and she's left an indelible mark on our organization, and very committed and one of the most organized leaders that I've ever had the opportunity to work for.
Yeah, yesterday she mentioned your event, also mentioned the one here. We were talking, I guess off the air we were talking, and she's one who's actually greatly involved with both the Mount Juliet and the Lebanon Chamber.
Well, when you take a look, I guess it's been, I want to say 5 years, I hope I'm not misspeaking, when Vanderbilt took over the hospital, or it became part of the Vanderbilt organization. I really think we'll look back one day and realize the significance of that and how that changed the trajectory of Wilson County, not just in healthcare, but I'm sure that when then G.C. Hickson and now Corey Johns the last few years, I'm sure that as companies look to move into Wilson County, wherever it is in Wilson County, access to world-class health care has to be a real feather in our cap, and I'm very excited to have Vanderbilt. I believe Scott the president's going to come and speak at perhaps our April luncheon or March. It's coming up. I don't have that schedule in front of me. Our State of the City address is in February, but they are so engaged in our community, and now they're doing the training, I think, for our fire department or something like that. They have their footprint or their fingerprints all over everything good going on in Wilson County. So, and Rochelle Regards, some people might remember her as a school teacher at Mount Juliet High School. She is the owner of Grade A Construction, a very, very large construction company here in Mount Juliet. She lives here. She taught here. She's going to be our chair-elect in 24, which means that as Tracy handed the baton to Julie for this year, Julie will hand the baton to Rachel for next year. So we're planning ahead, and our future certainly is bright when it comes to that. We got a lot of programs, excited about them. This week we don't have too much going on, of course, but anybody's listening and interested in community development, we have a fantastic Leading Women program. We have Leadership by the Book. Lee Campbell, Sam Anderson, they help facilitate that program, and that's following biblical principles, doing business according to the Bible, and that's a little bit unusual, but it has a tremendous following and some very loyal participants. Look forward to seeing what our young professionals will do. We also have a very robust nonprofit leadership council that's doing great, many networking opportunities, and we have for our educational workshops, we call it our Business Boost series, and along with masterminds. And something that a lot of people look forward to is our annual Day on the Hill with the legislature going back in session. Mm-hmm. We will be taking the train down on Wednesday, March the 13th. I want to thank State Representative Susan Lynn, Senator Mark Pody, and their staff for helping us coordinate all that. But that's something that many folks really look forward to. And if I'm not mistaken, the state legislature's taking a break this week. It's one thing driving from my house to the office, but the representatives have to drive from all 95 counties. So I believe they're taking a weather break right now. But a few other things we're really looking forward to. I heard Director of Schools Jeff Luttrell on the show maybe last week.
Yep.
And it just seems like every day we're drawing closer and closer to the opening of West Wilson Middle School. I know a lot of people are excited about that.
No question about that. It's gonna. Well, they have persevered waiting for this time, I guess we could say.
It's coming up on March the 3rd. Will be 4 years, if you can believe that, since that school and all its history basically was blown off the map when the tornado went through. So, but there are new buildings over there, and there are still projects in the work. Here we are 4 years later, and we will look back one day, and hopefully we will remember how the county came together and what the students and families and teachers and administrative staff had to go through. There was no playbook for that, I would imagine, but should that happen to other communities, I think they have a perfect example of how to adjust. And the kids, some of them will be going into their own school for the first time in 4 years, so that's got to be exciting for them. Yep. Got a new office building opening up on Lebanon Road right across the street from Green Hill High School, and that building's been under construction for probably a good year and a half, and some of them will be moving into their offices within the next couple of 3 weeks. Residential projects, got a number of residential and mixed-use projects, pretty much, Coleman, from one end of the city to the other, and even out into the urban growth boundary. Mount Juliet is on track to have sidewalks put on both sides, and I think they're going to even be lit along both sides of Lebanon Road, from Mount Juliet Road all the way to Park Glen, if you know where that's at, the John Deere dealer. And those things, you'll be able, literally, when that is completed, I believe you'll be able to walk from the Mount Juliet Little League Park on a nice sidewalk, lit, all the way to the south end of Providence, if you can believe that, across the interstate, woven in with the greenways and stuff. They have certainly made a large investment in walkability and quality of life. Our elected officials, they put their money where their mouth is, and I think it's beginning to show.
Well, we got about a minute and a half left here. Always good to hear from you, but the way it looks, I don't think growth is going to slow down much in 2024. What's your opinion?
Well, I see the same thing everybody else does, and it's Corey John said one time, he said, you want to see my best side. Well, when you look at Nashville, we happen to think the best side is the east side, and if we can just move the needle a little bit and get continue to find opportunities for those that live in Wilson County and would like to work in Wilson County. We still have a lot of our workforce leaves Wilson County, and so I think that's a real opportunity and a challenge, but certainly one worth working hard on, because you don't have to make that drive. That's a real change of life for families. So along with a lot of other things, the work doesn't slow down, but so many people came before us, Coleman, to make this a great place to live and work and raise a family. I don't think anybody should be surprised that a lot of folks are taking us up on the offer.
All right. Always good to hear from you. We appreciate you being with us this morning. I want you to stay warm, stay safe, and we'll see you next month. How's that?
Thank you.
And thank you so much. Mark Hinsley with the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce. And that is part one of Coleman and Company. We've got a lot more, so we hope you'll keep it right here, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota. Write it off the lot, write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Wrapping up the earlier crash over here in Hermitage on 40 westbound at OHB. It's been out there for quite some time now. It's building pretty good on that side of town, coming through Hermitage in from Wilson County on 40 going westbound. I'm watching it load up pretty good with some volume on Vietnam Vets westbound there at Gallatin Pike coming through Hendersonville. It's still pretty busy also on the Interstate 24 going westbound up through the Hickory Hollow area, coming in right now from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. Hey, Prince's Hot Chicken Catering. Check them out online at princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Simple banking, simply better. Since 2004, that's been our motto at Cedarstone Bank. I'm Bob McDonald. We know that financial decisions can sometimes be complicated, but that doesn't mean solutions have to be. Whether you're buying a new home, renovating your existing home, or buying a car, or maybe you're a business that needs to purchase equipment or the building you operate from, we have all the technology that will allow you to do your banking online or on the telephone, or you can come in one of our beautiful branches and see our great people. With locations in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Nashville. Cedarstone Bank. Simple banking, simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
As we get into your Wednesday, expecting sunny skies, a high near 26, wind chill values as low as negative 12 throughout today. For tonight, partly cloudy, back down to around 12. This look at weather is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. Let's look at your forecast. I'm Stormy Clausen.
Here we go. Welcome to part two of Coleman and Company. And if you're just joining us, we of course welcome you. We want to welcome Kayla Costley from Kane and Crowell PLLC. This law firm is located at 133 South College Street in Lebanon. It's the Gray Victorian building, the Gray Victorian house, I should say, built back to 1800s. If you go there, you can hardly miss it. It's a very attractive place for an attorney's office, and there are 6, I believe, who practice there. One of them, of course, is Kayla, who is with us this morning. Kayla Costley, good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you doing today?
Well, just trying to stay warm, but it's going to get warmer today, and the sun is shining, so I'm kind of positive this morning. I hope you are, too.
I'm trying to be. Like I told you before we went on, I can't believe it's colder here than it is in Alaska. That's what I just saw on the news. So pretty crazy weather we're dealing with right now.
Well, you've been with us a time or two before, but tell us just a little bit about you getting to be in law practice and your law career, if you would. Just a minute or two about that.
Yeah, for sure. So, Coleman, I actually have worked at Kane and Crowell for, I think, around 9 years now. I worked there all through law school. So I would go to I would work at Kane and Crowell during the day, and then I would drive to Nashville for school at night. And so very, very long days, but very worth it, because I think it makes a difference if you can work at a law firm while you're in law school. So upon graduating and passing the bar, they offered me a job as an attorney. And so, like I said, I want to say I've been there about 9 years now. So I practice primarily domestic, so custody, divorce, adoption, child support, things like that, and then probate as well. So That would include probate of wills and conservatorship, some estate planning, trusts, and things like that. But those two areas are my two main areas of practice.
Okay, well, of course, we've had all the snow here, 6-7 inches of snow, and traffic has been slowed. Your office been open? Are you going to be open today?
We will. So our staff, some of them are not local to Wilson County, so they have a hard time getting in when it snows. But all of the attorneys, my understanding is that we'll all be in the office today. We were open on Monday. We all worked remote yesterday, but we've remained open this whole week. So we're trying to make it work, but even if we're not in the office, we're available by phone or email. We're always available to help.
Yeah, that phone number, 615-784-4800, a pretty easy one to remember, 784-4800, and I guess pretty much somebody's going to answer that phone anytime somebody calls.
That's right. We try not to miss it, but if we do, people always can leave a voicemail and we'll call them right back. But even when we haven't been in the office, we've been returning phone calls and making sure that people are taken care of.
Mm-hmm. Well, talk a little bit about what you do, and off those things that you mentioned, which pretty much come under family law, what do you do most, Kayla?
Well, it's probably, I would say, about 50-50 between domestic and probate. And so I would say mostly, maybe a little bit more domestic than probate. But I want to say they're probably about equal, at least right now. So you're right, though. Anything family related, I will do that and try to help. Right now, people are trying to get their affairs in order because it's the new year and everybody has New Year's resolutions. And so a lot of people are trying to get their estate planning done. We've had a lot of appointments in regard to that. So it's a very busy time of the year. As soon as our doors open on January 2nd, it's been nonstop since then, but we're thankful for that.
Well, if somebody needs your attention, is there a period of time to wait? I mean, can you handle something? I guess if it's a dire emergency, you can get right on it. But otherwise, how long is somebody going to have to wait?
To get an appointment, we can normally get you in within a day or two. We at least try to. So even if I can't meet with you, then we have, like you said, we have 6 attorneys. And so we at least try to get you in the office as soon as possible because we know when people have situations like that, they don't want to have to wait.
Right.
Myself, Bryson Eubanks, and Angel Kane, we all handle the estate planning, elder law, Medicaid, all of that. So one of us can get you in within a day or two normally. And we always try to make sure that one of us is available.
And then depending on what you want, it will determine how long it's going to take to accomplish the mission that you're seeking, I suppose.
That's correct. Everything is different. So it really just depends on what you come in for and what you're needing.
Well, we want to mention, too, that you do have a website, and a lot of information is available there. It's a good place for people to start if they want to check you out, I suppose, even before they make the phone call. That's www.kane-law.com, www.kane-law.com. And there is a wealth of information on that website, right?
That's correct. We actually just revamped it, and there you can send, I believe you can request a consultation through text message, email, and there's a lot of blogs on there too. So a lot of great information on our website.
Well, no doubt your whole idea is to help people, and when it's a law issue, most people don't know a lot about that. That's why they depend on you. And you have your team there, the 6 of you who are very well schooled in law of all kinds, family law and elder law. So a great place to get started, no doubt, and you're just there to help people through a rough time, right?
That's correct. We're always happy to help, Coleman.
Okay. Anything you want to say before we go this morning?
No, I just hope everyone stays safe and stays warm out there.
All right. Well, it's been nice to have you with us today, Kayla Costley, and I'm sure they'll have you do the commercial again. So have a great one. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Coleman. Have a great day.
All right. Cane and Crowell, PLLC, 133 South College in Lebanon. Again, you can reach them at 615-784-4800, and their website is www.cane-law.com. All right, let's say it's 21 minutes before 8 o'clock. Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell is right here, right on time this morning. Actually, he got here a little bit before 7 o'clock, if you want to know the truth.
I did.
Stayed out in the car a minute or two. Good.
I did that too. It was warm in the car.
Well, I'm glad to see the sun. The sun came out, 2 or 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon.
It did.
Began to melt a little bit. But it was so cold last night. 6 degrees below zero, I think, is probably our official low. That's close. And my car, as I said 5 below. It was 5 or 6 below at my house. You have a temperature? You have a thermometer that you saw this morning?
It was cold, but off there, Coleman, you were talking about the coldest you remember it, and you said it was the morning after a Super Bowl. That was actually when the Bills and the Giants played, and Scott Norwood missed a field goal at the end of the game. And the reason I remember that is that our cable went out because it's so cold and lines are breaking. So my dad and I had to watch the Super Bowl on a little antenna TV in the kitchen. So I remember it being about 24 or 25 degrees below zero that day.
What year was that? Do you remember? It was in the early 80s, I think.
It's been a long time ago. I can't remember the year, but
well, I certainly remember that morning because my car wouldn't start. But that was a while before Coleman and Company. Back then, I had a little 25-minute talk show at 8:05 to 8:30, and I didn't make it that much. But anyway,
but you made it today.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here today. We're glad to have you. I know you had a meeting last night because I turned over the TV on to 198, I believe, and you were there, and there was some discussion about I guess it's some zoning issue or something. It didn't particularly concern me, so I didn't stay there too long. But mainly, I wanted to know whether you were meeting or not.
Well, we did meet. There's an extra Tuesday this month, so it'll be 3 more weeks. We have some important business we need to take care of, and first of all, I need to thank all the city employees who's been working through all this. The street department, Public Works, they got the main roads cleared. They're working on the secondaries too.
But Rick, when it's as cold as it is now, and when you've got, this is different from if it was 30 degrees out there,
absolutely.
As far as cleaning off the roads.
Well, this cold, it's hard to do anything really.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Lee Clark. He's in charge of that through the process, and they were really waiting for the sun to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And as you said, the sun came out yesterday, which really allowed them to go out there and start scraping and getting some stuff off. That really helped out a lot. So, they worked hard. This is a little different. They brined a few days early before it hit. But sometimes it gets so cold, there's not much you can do, but they have done a lot. Lebanon Police Department has done a lot, Lebanon Fire Department, and our utilities people have too, making sure that still operates. So throughout all this cold weather, there's been a lot of city employees out there working to make sure that our services are continuing and our roads are clear, and they all did a great job.
Well, what's today going to be like?
Well, today we're open. Actually, our office is open today, and one of the things that will not happen this week is sanitation is not running. Those trucks still struggle on some slickness, especially on those secondary roads. But another problem with sanitation too is that we have to empty the trucks over in Murfreesboro, and things aren't great going up that big hill over there either. So we decided to shut down sanitation this week. I do want to let everybody know that next week they'll be back on schedule. If you have any empty bags or any extra bags, we'll pick those up too because we missed this week. But today our offices are open. We still have folks out in the field working as well, still working on the streets. And so trying to get back to normal as much as possible.
I'm sure there have been some fender benders. I'm guessing, I don't really know, but probably a few wrecks, this sort of thing. But has anything really bad happened that you know of?
Nothing serious in the city limits. I was talking to Chief Mike Justice the other day. This is when it first hit. That first night, there were no accidents inside the city limits. There were some, things that happened on the interstate that LPD assisted the highway patrol with, but it's been good so far. And as you said, I'm sure there's been a few things, but nothing major.
Yeah. Well, what about your meeting last night?
So as you said, it was an important meeting. We had some important things happen last night, and there's two I really want to talk about. The first one is, Coleman, you know, one of the things that people talk to me about a lot is, why do we have so many car washes? We have too many car washes, and it's really something that's on people's minds, and it's on our mind too, because what's happened is, you know, we've always had car washes. I can remember I used to wash my car behind Captain D's, you know, and spray it down, and but it's something nowadays that they're taking up prime locations in the city, locations where you know, we could have stores, could have restaurants, things that produce sales taxes and also provide amenities for the citizens. And so I sponsored an ordinance last night, and it was second reading, so it passed, to change zonings of car washes, get them out of commercial general, where we really want businesses that you know, employ a lot of people, as I said, produce sales taxes, provide people places to eat, shop, and I mean, we put them in another zone. So from this point forward, we'll stop seeing car washes on our main roads. This is really going to limit probably the building of car washes. They've always been allowed in industrial, so it's still allowed there under a conditional use. But now we moved it over to another zone. In fact, there's only one property in the city that has this zoning right now. And so what that means is if somebody comes in and asks for this zoning, we know what they're wanting to do. They want to do a car wash. So this is really going to give us a lot more control over those businesses. And so, as I said, a lot of people have asked me about car washes, and this is something I think is really going to handle that situation.
Well, was there some opposition? I mean, people who want to put in a car wash might not agree with what you're doing.
No, there's been no opposition. And a couple of years ago, the city council did put a conditional use on car washes in the same zoning, which means that it's zoned for it, but they have to follow certain rules based on what the Board of Zoning Appeals said. And we thought that would handle the situation. It didn't, not to the extent we wanted. So I felt like this was the next step, and the city council passed unanimously. So again, car washes, they're still conditional use. They're in a different zone now. So we will not see them in the prominent locations like we have now.
Okay, well, that's probably enough on that. We need to take a break. You've got something else that's pretty important you did last night as well, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, stay tuned for that right here on Coleman & Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford and that regular oil change, $39.95 up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal, $17.80 Franklin Road. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. We're seeing a little bit of traffic volume now coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County on 24 westbound, headed up through the Hickory Hollow area up through Antioch. It's still moving right now through Hendersonville and got a little bit busy earlier westbound on Vietnam Vets as you come past Gallatin Pike. Again, traffic still looks pretty good right now in Hermitage, better than it did earlier. We had that crash. They just cleared it on 40 westbound at OHB. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in Middle Tennessee. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. They're online. Check them out. TomahawkCrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is in a new location, 1746 West Main in Lebanon, across from Sports Village. Gregory Dental Group offers cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs.
No insurance? No problem. Call about the discount plan. Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322.
Elevate your possibilities with the wide selection of equipment from Harris Trading Company in Lebanon. Harris Trading offers sales and rentals on a large variety of construction and agricultural equipment. Golf carts, dump trailers, livestock trailers, skid steer attachments, utility trailers, and much more. See us for all of your rental and sales needs. Family owned and operated, conveniently located just south of the Watertown exit on I-40. Find Harris Trading online at harristradingcompany.com.
Well, welcome our final segment here on a Wednesday morning. Mayor Rick Bell is with us. It's cold out there, but it's with the sun coming out. I'll bet it might be up to 0. But
I think it might. You know, actually, when I came in Coleman, it was getting close. So I bet now it might be up to 1 or 2. You never know.
Well, hopefully it's going to warm up here for a day or two and give us a little reprieve. Although the weekend doesn't look all that great, but it looks better.
And I did see where next week it's going to go up to 60. So
yeah,
maybe all this stuff will go away.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, let's get to the other pretty important thing you did last night.
So last night there was a request for annexation on Franklin Road, and it's something that's gone through the process. And I think one of the things that people may not realize is that a property owner has the right to go through the process. Just because it gets to council doesn't mean we're for it or against it. It just means they've gone through the process. So last night there was a request for annexation, and there really wasn't a plan. They didn't come in with what they wanted to do or with any kind of a development or anything like that. And so I spoke out against it. I told the council, that the staff recommend denial on this. The plan commission recommend approval, but bringing in land just for the sake of bringing it in really goes against what we've talked about for the past few years now. That when it comes to annexations or zonings, it needs to be something that benefits the city. Several councilors talked about how they like to see these specific plans so they can control what goes there. And this was just a straight zoning, not really telling us what it's going to be. And it, as I said, totally went against everything we've talked about as far as being able to pick and choose what we want. I've said a bunch of times, there's a time in our history where we were begging for development. We're not doing that anymore. We can pick and choose. And so I just reminded them last night that, that there's a plan in place to be able to pick and choose what we want, to make sure it's a benefit to everyone. And I just didn't feel like this fit that. So when they voted 4-1 to not do it. And I appreciate them doing that. There's a lot of times at City Council I do not speak out. That's their time to vote, their time to discuss. But I just felt this time it was important for me to say that we really have to watch out for what we do. If somebody wants to come into the city or wants to rezone, tell us what you want to do up front, and then the council will consider it. But just to come in and ask for a rezone just for the sake of bringing in land, I just didn't think that was the right decision, and the council agreed with me.
Who's the dissenting vote?
So it was in Ward 3. Camille Burdine is her ward. She made a motion to approve it, and there was a second, and we had some discussion. And then after discussion, they voted 4-1. She voted to annex, and the other ones did not.
Just 5 members there?
There were 5 there. Fred Burton was not there last night.
Okay.
But there were 5 there, and so and there were 5 different items actually to vote on that particular annexation, and for the other 4, she did make a motion, but she did not get a second. So none of it passed, and.
So this I guess could come up again, but most likely the message here is have a specific plan.
Have a plan. Yeah, have a plan. Have a specific plan that tells the council what it's going to be, and that's something that I've talked about and they've talked about for a long time now. Is that we have a lot of old zonings here that were passed 5-6 years ago, and now we're kind of stuck. And we have a lot of developments out there that are grandfathered in that haven't been built yet. But going forward, we have to keep an eye on that. Let's lock it down, make sure that when the council and I make a decision, we know what we're getting. It's something that we want. It's something that the citizens want. And again, not just rezone and annex just for the sake of doing it. And making sure that the zoning annexation is, we know what we're getting when we do it. Mm-hmm. And it's really that simple. And I think sometimes when it comes to these issues, we can overcomplicate it, but it really comes down to the basic thing. Is it good for the city or not? And when you come in and request something, tell us what it is so we can make that determination. It's that simple.
Okay, what else you got?
As I said before, we're open today, so if anyone needs City Hall, we'll be there. we'll have everything operating today. There's a couple things that have happened in the past couple of weeks I do want to talk about, though. This past Monday was Martin Luther King Day.
Right.
And so that's the day all the weather hit, and we were already off. But, that's an important holiday. Unfortunately, on Monday, the march that they usually have had to be canceled, and the ceremony they were going to have had to be canceled. I hope it's going to be rescheduled, but I don't want to go through the show and not mention that day because it is important. And also last week, we had an economic development open house at the Mitchell House. Sarah Hayson and I hosted that, and it's really an opportunity for people to come in and talk to us and find out what we're doing, not just in economic development, but as in any aspect of city operations. And so a lot of people were invited. And, Coleman, one of the things I talked about when I was elected was communicating.
Yeah.
Coming out here talking to you is important because this is communicating, letting people know what's going on. Another way we do that is for the past couple of years, we've had this open house. We've invited people to come in. I'm there. Department heads are there. Some of the city councilors are there. And I was really thrilled with the turnout because there were a lot of people who came in that I knew who show up at a lot of things. But there were so many people who came that I'd never met before. They moved here, maybe been here a couple of years, and they just wanted to come in, ask questions, and talk to us and really find out how we operate and some of the things we have going on. We talked about infrastructure. We talked about economic development. They talked to the different department heads and asked them questions. And I think it was something that a lot of people enjoyed. I appreciate everybody who came out. And again, it's just a way to communicate with people and let people know what's going on.
Yeah. Mayor, won't you catch your breath for a second here? Tommy Bryan sent me a list of the new 5 members of the 2024 Sports Hall of Fame. I think this is going to be a story in both the Post and the Democrat today in their Wednesday edition, and I just appreciate being able to share this with you. The 5 new members of the LHS Sports Hall of Fame include Coach Mark Medley, who was 64-18 when he was a football coach there. Roshan Dilligard, class of 91 basketball. Kimball Lee Minglebird, class of 24 track and field. Greg Triplett, a lot of people remember Greg Triplett, who was a class of 94 football, who won actually 12 athletic letters in football, basketball, and baseball. There's Tyler Moore, class of 2018 bowling, and as a junior was the 2017 TSSAA individual state champion. So those 5, Coach Mark Medley, Roshan Dilligard, Kimball Lee Minglebird, Greg Triplett, and Tyler Moore, the new inductees in the 2024 Sports Hall of Fame, Lebanon High School.
Coleman, congratulations to all of them. And Greg and Kimball, both younger than I am, so that when people younger than me start going to Hall of Fame, that makes me feel old. But but they were both great athletes. And Coach Medley, I think that the whole time he was there, Mount Jewett only scored a safety on them one time. That's all they scored the whole time. So that's always a good thing too. But as a Blue Devil and Lebanon grad, I think that's awesome that they're going in and Lebanon's had some great athletes come through their doors.
I kind of interrupted you. What else is on your list?
No, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you brought that up because that's you and I talk about Lebanon high school sports a lot off the air, and we don't get to talk about it on the air. But as I said, there's been some great athletes go through there, and these 5 just represent a lot of them.
Great.
You had a birthday last week.
Well, I did. I'm now 84.
So how's it feel?
Oh well, I'm a year older, but I'm not deeper in debt.
Well, that's good. You're a year wiser too, right?
Well, it's I think for 84, I'm doing fairly well. I hope so.
Well, I will say this is, coming out here, this is one of the most enjoyable parts of my job, and I know we get to talk to a lot of people out there listening, but when I came out here today, and of course, this, I got on the road out here where the interstate is, and it's a little shaky, and I was thinking how dedicated you are to get out here every morning, and you're kind of like the mailman. No matter what the weather's like, you're going to be here and you're going to have this show.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I was a little apprehensive this morning. I was dreading just getting out in the cold. I do not like cold weather. I don't like snow. I don't like. I guess you could say it beats no weather at all. But that's about the most positive thing I can say about it. But if I was filthy rich, I'd probably be in Florida or Arizona right now. But I enjoy this. It's still great to get out, and this kind of keeps me going, really.
Well, it's a great thing. I know it's a great thing for you, but it's a great thing for the community too. I say that all the time, but this show informs a lot of people about a lot of different things, and it's important for this community. It really is.
Well, if all goes well, if we don't have some more zero weather and 6 inches of snow, I guess things will more get back to normal.
I hope so. As I said, we're open today. The plan is to be open the rest of the week. I know there's probably some snow out there in the forecast. We'll see what happens with that. We may have to close, because of it, but it hadn't happened yet, so we'll wait and see. Then next week, as things get warmer, we'll get back to normal. But again, I can't thank enough the employees who've been out there working through this. It's not easy, and it's out there in the cold. And Lebanon Police Department did a great thing this year. They on Facebook they had a ride along where they were out driving the streets and filming it and really talking to people about the conditions before they got out in it. So I really appreciate Richard and Ziggy for going out there and doing that. I've watched it some, and I know a lot of people that did too. And so, we're doing everything we can to keep people safe through this, keep people not just safe on the roads, but safe at home too. And it takes a lot of hard work, and that's not me doing it. That's a lot of other people out there doing it, and I really appreciate it.
Well, we've come to the end of our time here, but thanks for being with us this morning. We'll see you next time, and have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, that's it for Wednesday. Hope you'll join us tomorrow for Thursday edition. Till then, I wish you a wonderful day.